All right, how is everybody doing? It's been a little while since I've played the game. Honestly, I've kind of been taking a little break. I might be coming back soon. We'll see. But today is gonna be a little bit of a story time, a little bit of a story. So if you guys are ready, this happened like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and so I thought I'd tell you guys. So I'm a pretty avid hiker. For those that don't know, I like to go outside and do stuff, right? And so on this, I think it was a Monday, we're gonna go with that. On this Monday, I'm like reaching out to all my friends, like, yo, any of y'all wanna go on a hike? And everyone I talked to was like, I'm busy, I can't go, right? So I'm like, shit. I either can't go on a hike or I gotta hike alone, right? And I'm going and I'm like, well, I'm gonna hike alone, right? Because I wanna do something today. So I'm like, fuck it, we're just gonna go alone and hope nothing bad happens, right? You know, as you do. And so I like look up a trail to go to and I find one I've never been to before. So I drive, it's like 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away, right? So it's not even that far, right? Because where I live, there's a lot of trails near me. So I drive to this trail, I'm like vibing, it's a nice sunny day, I got my music blasted, windows down, you know, it's vibes, it's going good. So I pull into this spot, there's like 2 cars in the parking lot, so there's like no one here, right? And so I get there and I see like the trailhead. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna start walking, right? Because the spot I found, it was supposed to have like a waterfall. So I'm like, I'm out here, I'm looking for a waterfall, right? That's like the goal, is to find this cool waterfall. So I'm walking, and when I go on a hike, I don't like just walk the trail. I like to find some sort of adventure to do, whether it's like to climb something, jump something, explore, go off trail, whatever it might be, right? I like a little bit of danger, a little bit of the unknown when I go on hikes, right? So I'm walking this trail, and you know, it's a pretty cool trail. It's like a forest. There's like a woodpecker off in the distance, right? So often you're hearing a bam, bam, bam. There's a woodpecker's doing its thing. It's digging into this tree, right? So I'm going, and I'm walking. But I'm not seeing anything. I'm not hearing any rushing water. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna turn this into a little bit of a cardio thing. So I start like alternating between running and walking, right? Running, walking, going back and forth. And I do this for a little bit, and then I find these like rocks next to the river, and I'm like kind of climbing around in the rocks, see if there's anything cool. I find like this little like, sort of like a mini cave or tunnel sort of thing that I kind of climb through and like climb up the other side. It's like nothing, I'm not really getting what I want out of the hike, right? I'm kind of like a little disappointed in the hike. So I go a little bit further. I'm like, it's been about 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna turn back, right? So I just keep doing my little run, walk. Luckily it was like a loop, so I didn't take the same trail back. I went like a different way. And then I get back to the parking lot, maybe 20-ish minutes later. And I'm thinking, I'm like, well, do I just cut my losses and go home, or do I look around a little bit more? And I see there's another trail on like a bridge going the other direction. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna keep going, right? I still got daylight left. It's only like 6 o'clock. I'm like, I got at least an hour until the sun starts to set. So I keep going. Now, it's important to note for this hike, no one knew where I was. This is gonna be important later. The only people that knew I was even going on a hike was the people I contacted, and even then, the way I contacted was like a guaranteed thing, right? So I'm like on my own right now, right? As all good things go. Don't be dumb like me. If you're gonna go do something, tell people where you're at. So anyways, I start walking this other trail, and I'm doing my run walk thing, right? So I'm like, I want to get to where I'm going, and I'm like, there's like a tree kind of falling over, hovering over this river, and so like walk out across the tree, kind of, and like it's kind of cool. But again, there's nothing too crazy, right? So I keep doing like running, walking, alternating. I go for about 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to where the trail bends, and if I don't hear any water, because it's like a good bit in front of me, like a little ways away, I see the trail like curves off to the left a little bit. I'm like, I'm gonna run to there, and if I don't hear or see anything by then, I'm just gonna cut my losses, call this a bad hike, and go back, right? So I run like 5 minutes later, I get to the trail bend, I like stop there, I like catch my breath, and I hear just very faintly running water. So I'm like, okay, there is something, right? So I keep walking the trail, running the trail, and finally I get to where like the trail starts going uphill a little bit, and so there's like a little cliffside on the right of me, and I'll show some pictures or videos. And so I keep following the cliffside, and this is pretty cool now. There's like these like big rapids and whatnot. I'm like going down next to the rapids and climbing back up and whatnot. And I say cliff, it's more like a super steep hill. It's not like a rocky cliff. It's all like dirt and whatnot. And so I keep going. Now I'm having a little bit more fun. I'm like, this is cool, right? And then then starts to get to rocky cliffs, so I can't like climb down anymore. It's low-key dangerous. And so I'm like, okay, we're not gonna do that. I like get on top of this, like, it's like the cliff side, and then like a little outcropping, and then like this big rock pillar that's like a little bit taller than the outcropping. So I like climb to the edge of the cliff, like maneuver across this little outcropping, and then climb up on top of this pillar. And so it's like 40-foot drops on like all sides of me with like the running water, and it's like this crazy view. I'm like, okay, this is dope, right? This is really fucking cool. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm like, I'm gonna get to like the end of the rapids, right? And so I keep on walking, I'm looking over. It's cool, right? I'm like, okay, this turned out to be pretty good. Not like crazy good. It would have been worth it had I not gone the wrong way to start and wasted an hour, right? But I'm like, okay. And so I get to the end of the rapids, and now like the trail goes downhill again, and now it like meets up. So it's a spot like if you wanted to go swim, you could go swim in the river. It's too cold to go swim right now. It's like 50 degrees outside, and I didn't bring anything to swim in, right? It's cold. It's cold. It's all mountain runoff where I live, so it's all freezing cold water. So I'm like, okay, from here I can either, I'm like, I gotta go, I'm just gonna go back now, right? But I'm like, what would be more fun than just walking the trail back is what if I tried to rock climb around the side of the cliff, right? So, in my infinite wisdom, being on a hike alone, without anyone knowing where I'm at or what I'm doing, and with no cell service or anything of that sort, I decided to start rock climbing on the side of this cliff, right? So I start climbing around. It's going pretty good. And I'm like hanging off after about maybe 5 minutes of climbing. It's not been any hard climbing. It's just like long and sideways, right? I get to the spot where I'm like, it's like I'm on this rock, and then there's like a tree to my left, and then more to my left is like the rapids in the water that I can't fall into. It's like super fast running water. And there's like a big like bunch of ants in front of me. There's like big ants, right? These are the ones that like bite the shit out of you. And then past the ants is like the rocks stop. It's like super steep dirt for a little bit, and then it goes to rocks again. So I'm like, okay, I gotta get to that like steep dirt, whatever. That's where I can like, that's like my rest spot, right? I get there, I can like take a break and let my arms rest before I start climbing again. But I'm like trying to figure out how to maneuver around this anthill and shit. So like I don't really want to step on and piss off the ants, right? I don't want to like get bit by an ant while I'm hanging off the side of this cliff. Now I'm only about like 10 feet in the air right now. I was just didn't want to get wet, right? I mean, the fall would have hurt, but I wouldn't like die or anything, right? And so I'm like figuring it out, and I'm like shifting around, trying to figure out how to like finding a hole that's not disturbing the ants. And then one of my feet like slips. So I'm like, shit. So I like pull it because I have one hand on the tree and one hand on the rock. So I pull myself forward. I step like right on the anthill and like jump and like land on this, like on the hill part, and like slide down like 3 feet because it's like super steep and like loose dirt. Like catch myself. I do not get bit by ants. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy, right? I'm like, okay, I gotta chill for a sec. Cause like if you're doing some free solo climbing, cause I don't have any like ropes or climbing equipment, right? So this is all just like, if I fall, I fall. You don't wanna slip at all. So one slip is already like, fuck, dude, like that's scary. That's scary, right? But I'm like, okay, I think it was fine. I'm fine. One slip out of the last however many hikes, like that's not that bad. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. So I like get to the end of this where it gets to rocks again, and I'm like climbing across these rocks, and it gets to a spot where I got like 2 choices. I can take the lower path where I'm like basically like less than a foot above the rapids, or I can take the upper path, right? Because the lower path I gotta go like around this rock that's kind of shooting out. The upper path I gotta go up and over it where I'm like way higher up. And I like to turn like, okay, the lower path seems easier. It's just I can't get my shoes wet, right? If my shoes get wet and they get slippery, it's just gonna make climbing a lot harder. And so I do this, I climb like halfway around this rock outcropping, and then I like climb up on top of it because it's kind of flat on top for a little bit before it changes into cliffside again. And so I'm like climbing on top of it, and I like get on top, my shoes don't get that wet. I'm like, cool, we're good. But there's like a bush up there with like spikes on it. It's like a spiky bush. And so I'm like trying to maneuver like kind of through this bush without letting it stab me too much. It's like, it's whatever, right? Because I'm in shorts, right? I don't have pants on, so I don't want the bush to like stab me. But like low-key, I kind of just let it stab me because I need to get past the bush, right? I was not at a spot where I could get out yet. And so then I like keep climbing around, and I'm like kind of slowly, as I keep making my way, going up a little bit. So I'm like climbing, and now I'm about 15 feet up with like the raging water below me. And so I like climb up, and I see like this like big rock coming out. And so I like grab the rock, and I kind of with like one hand, I like test it, it's good. So I got with the other hand, I like pull myself up. The rock's totally fine. It doesn't slip or anything, right? Remember this. This is like a mental note I made is, hey, this is a safe rock. It didn't move, it didn't wiggle. nothing at all. No movement in this rock whatsoever. And I like fully pulled myself up with 2 hands and like stepped on it to like start getting up higher, right? Didn't move at all, right? And so I'm like kind of standing with 1 foot on that rock and 1 foot on another like spot on the cliff side with my hands there. I'm looking up because I think I see a spot I can find, like climb myself up, right? Like get out of there. And at this point I've been climbing for like 20 minutes straight, right? Climbing's, you're not supposed to do 1 climb for that long if you're not strapped in, right? If you're bouldering, a climb is like, a minute is a long climb. And I've been climbing for like 20 minutes, right? And so I'm like a little out of breath. I can definitely feel my arms a bit. They're getting a bit tired, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start climbing up this. So I like do a move, I like move a hand and a foot, and then I move another hand and a foot. So I'm like fully hanging, right? Because where I was at before, my feet were on this like super steep dirt. So I was like not fully hanging, but like almost hanging. Now I'm like fully hanging off the side of this cliff. I do some moves. So I'm about, I don't know, maybe 18, 19 feet above the water right now. And I realized, shoot, I can't keep climbing because there's a rock that's like wedged in between, because I'm in like this little like crevice sort of thing a little bit. It's like almost like a triangle shape kind of the rock that I'm like climbing in between, like up, and then like kind of like almost like a ladder, but then there's like a rock stuck there and I can't move the rock, right? So I'm like, shoot, I gotta find another way to get out. And so I like start climbing down, and I'm like, that big rock I mentioned earlier was like how I climbed up. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get down, I'm gonna grab on that rock, and I'm gonna climb down and come back around the way I came, and then climb up just where the steep dirt was, right? And so I start going, I'm coming down, I get 1 hand on the rock, I get 1 foot down, I get another hand on the rock, and then I step, this is like very important, right? I step 1 foot out from underneath the rock and onto like the actual cliff face beside it, and I'm in the middle of moving 1 hand over, the whole rock slips out from underneath me. So I'm like, shit, this is all like super slow motion because the adrenaline hits like a motherfucker, right? This giant ass, like 200-pound boulder falls out from underneath me and starts pushing me down this cliff. I'm 15 feet up above raging rapids. This is like death if I fall in, right? And so I like grab onto the rock face, like not the rock that fell, like the actual cliff with my other hand, but the rock's like pushing me down. It's like caught on my left leg. And so like the number 1 rule of climbing, especially outside, is you always want 3 points of contact so that if part 1 of like your limbs falls off, you don't fall off the rock face, right? Well, right now it's like I either hang on and the rock's gonna push me off the cliff and I die, or I just trust that this other rock while I have my hand and my foot on holds and I let go with my other foot because my left hand is fully off because the rock fell away. So it's hang on from nothing. So I like push back and like fly out to the side, almost like a door opening, on 1 hand and 1 foot, hanging off the side of this cliff, and the rock goes falling off, and it like, the rock stops like right before it tumbles off the final part of the cliff, but like close enough to where it would have knocked me off, right? And so I like grab on with my other hand, and I'm like, shoot, dude, that's, oh my gosh. So I grab it, and I'm like, that's some shit out of a movie, that's some Mission Impossible type shit, right? And so I'm like, fuck. Like, that's not good, I'm alone, right? So I sit there, like, take a breather, and I'm like, shoot, no one's gonna believe this story, right? First the anthill thing, and then this? Who's gonna believe this? And so, I do what any reasonable person would do after almost falling off a cliff to their death, and I decide to take a little video proving that this happened, which I'll play right now. We'll see it.
Dude, holy fuck, I'm trying to climb my way down from here. This whole ass rock just fell from below me. It was right up there before. Oh my god, dude. That, oh, woo, that's why you have 3 points of contact. Holy shit. Woo, we're chilling now. Holy fuck.
Alright, so, you see the video, right? That big ass rock was what was pushing me down. And like, I was saying it's fine, we're chill. Dude, I was panicking. I was like, I'm still super tired at this point, right? I've been climbing for 20 minutes straight. But the bad part is that rock was my way down the way I came. So now, I gotta figure out a way to climb down again without that rock, and then get around and then climb back up the cliff face, right, to get back onto the trail. And so, I start making my way. This time, instead of going down first, I'm going right first, back to the way I came. And I get like to the spot where I can kind of stand and sit, but I gotta like lower myself off the edge. But the rock's there, and then it goes in a little bit before there's more cliffside, and so I can't like feel it with my feet. So I'm like, okay, I like kind of like lay down on my stomach, right? Because I'm kind of like in survival mode now. I just got to get out of here, right? I need to get back on to safety. So I'm like fully just survival mode, safety first. Like I got to make it out of this, right? Because I'm like I got to get out of this before the adrenaline goes away. Because if you've ever had like a big adrenaline spike like this, after it goes away, you crash hard, right? And I'm like, I cannot crash while I'm on the side of the cliff, right? So I need to get the fuck out of this. So I like lower myself down, like using my knees and shit to finally like get a foothold in. So like climb down a little bit, and then so now I'm on like rock face on one side, like this super steep, like I don't know, 70-degree angle of dirt, and I like climb around a little bit, and then I find a rock path. I'm like, okay, here I can climb up, and luckily this rock path is like a super easy climb. I'm just winded at this point, so I climb up the rock path. I get on top. I'm like, fuck, dude, I need to take a breather. So I go and I find that like rock pillar. So I'm like, I need a spot to sit down. I need just like to chill, I need to drink some water. So I sit down, I climb over, I crawl to this rock pillar, I get on top of it, and I'm just like sitting there, fucking processing what just happened. I'm drinking water. Right, I'm like chugging my fucking water bottle, right? Like I had a full 40-ounce water bottle. I drank like all of it right there, right? I'm like sitting there, I'm chilling. And then I'm like sitting there, I'm like just looking out the river, like processing, right? And all of a sudden, I hear someone say hi. And I'm like, what? Who just said hi? So I look around, and behind me at like where the real lookout is with like a fence around it where you're supposed to look out over the rapids, which by the way, side tangent real quick, there was no waterfall on this entire hike. It was just fast rapids, which means I got lied to on Google Maps. Google Maps said it was a waterfall. No. It was purely rapids. But anyway, so I turn around, and on this like lookout spot, there's like 6 kids and 2 adults, and 2 of the kids are waving at me. And so I'm like, shit, I gotta get down, right? Because I'm like, I'm not in a state to deal with people right now, and the spot I'm at is super dangerous. So I don't want to set a bad example for the kids, right? I don't want the kids to go up there and like fall off and die. Because I'm like, again, I'm like 40 feet in the air, just like sitting on this little pillar. So I like immediately pack up my shit, I get down, and the adrenaline crash hasn't hit yet, right? So I get down, I walk, and I just start walking back, right? I'm like walking past, I like wave to them, give my like least intimidating smile ever, because like it's a little weird, you see someone out by themselves on trail. Most people hike with other people, right? So I like just walk by, I'm going, and like as I'm walking, I fucking crash. I had to like stop for a second, because I had just like no energy. So I sit down, there's like a little bit of water left in my water bottle, I chug the rest of it, and I'm like, I just gotta get back to my car. Right, I get back to my car, I can drive home and just take a nap. And so I'm like walking back, I'm like seeing, at this point I'm like calling some people, right? I'm like texting, like, can anyone call, right? Because I'm like, I gotta tell someone about this. I call my brother, and he's like, yo, I'm at the gym, we can talk like later, right? I'm like, okay, that's valid, right? So I do that, I call up my friend, I'm not gonna say his name, but I call up my friend, or I text him, and he doesn't respond because he doesn't respond to anything. Right, I expect that. So anyways, I like finally make it to my car. It's like starting to get dark out, right? I was out here for like 2.5, 3 hours, way longer than I meant to be out here for. It's starting to get dark out, so I get in my car. I don't even like get in the driver's seat of my car. I open the back hatch of my car, right? Because I got like the back of my car. I just sit in the back of my car for like, I kid you not, like 10 minutes. Just like sitting there catching my breath, like really thinking through like what just happened, because that's like the closest I've been to death in a long time. And then finally I close the back of my car, I get in, and I drive home, and I was like, dude, insane story. And so I told this to like almost everyone I know, and so I was like, and I was thinking, why don't I turn this into a video for you guys? So that's the time, the most recent time I almost died. So I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, if you like these story time videos, let me know, because these are quick and easy for me to make, and I enjoy doing them. So yeah, that's the story of me almost dying because I decided to go cliff climbing on a solo hike no one knew about. Yeah, you guys have a good day. Be smarter than me if you're going on adventures like that. Be smarter than me. That's the advice I got for you. Be smarter than me. All right, see y'all later.